All right, so this installment, if you will, uh, saw a question on Reddit that was, how do I create a monthly drip campaign? They're a content creator. How they create a monthly drip campaign that is like basically pre-recorded, or I'm not going to assume, I'm going to go into that. But how do I create a monthly drip campaign based on a monthly subscription? I love this question because there's so many ways that you can break it down, right? You're basically creating a business of knowledge, a knowledge-based business, which is something that NoCap is. And we go about a different way. We're not trying to educate. We're just trying to like put some stuff into motion as far as operating and helping people take their ideas and turn it into businesses. But if you're trying to build a knowledge-based business, there are a bunch of apps to do it, right? You can do an app like Contently. You can do an app like Gumroad. Dropbox just announced that they're doing Dropbox Shop now. There are so many different ways that you can do it. You can just set up a memberful account. You can believe memberships are now available in a couple of other like website apps that you can run that through. Wix is one of them that you can run subscriptions through and have it based on user-based content lock. So there's so many other ways that you can do this that I think is really fascinating. But I think the item that I would really be looking at is price. So I just saw on the day that I am filming this, I just saw that Gumroad yesterday announced that they were going to change their structure and charge 10% processing fees, which if it's Stripe processing, it's 2.9% plus 30 cents on every charge. So that's almost 13% of everything. It's a flat fee. So there's no like scaling. It used to scale one way or another depending on how much revenue that you did on the platform. And a lot of people are pushing back on that. I think it's going to open up a really huge market for just plain simple going ahead and, hey, I want to sell something online and I just want to like move it through. That said, those are the simplest ways. Now you can do something like Substack, where you can actually create the content but set it up like a newsletter so that people are getting dripped on with text-based content that you can also embed videos in. You can use something like Mighty Networks, which I have a lot of experience in. We built a side platform called Founders Republic on Mighty Network. It's a really good project. The reason why we canceled our subscription because they weren't updating enough, even though they raised a ton of money earlier this year. The product didn't improve the way that we would like to see it. There's Circle. There's lots of things that have educational components built in where you can actually build coursework into it, but it's a community-based platform. So that's one area. Those are going to be way more expensive than something like a Substack or a Gumroad or a Dropbox Shop, right? Because you're paying them upfront for the tech, and then they're bolting on the ability to do like drip-based coursework. And when you say content, I'm assuming you mean like text or video based, but there are so many ways to do dynamic content drips that you can basically have someone pay you a monthly subscription for access to your community, and then you can build coursework on top of that. It always is helpful if you start out with at least one course first, because in that way you can, how should I put this? And that way you can at least get people to buy into your community and have a course ready. So then you're building courses on top of that, and then you can update your pricing as you need be. So you might charge, $9 a month or $4.99 a month for the first course. That's just a beta test. And then as you add on courses, you say, okay, well, you still have access to that course at $4.99, but if you want access to the new 20 courses that we created, it might be $29.99. If you want access to unlimited, it's $299.99. So there's a lot of different ways to do that. There's also text-based courses, which I really like. It's a company called, I think it's Arist. They launched out of YC a couple years ago. We built a really easy how to get a startup off the ground. We call it Founder School, where someone could just put in a text. I think we charge like 99 cents for it. And it's a 21-day text-based course that gets sent directly to your phone number that drips on them, I think, once a day. So it's 21 days. And it's to actually build in the marketing funnel to get people into NoCap Core. So those are all the different ways that you can do it. My recommendation is to look at the pricing, because the pricing will dictate, and the pricing and what you want to do with this course are going to dictate a lot of the other things. I think if you're just starting out with this question, you don't need a huge LMS software, which is a learning management system software. Those can get pretty pricey because sometimes they are built for like if the University of Georgia wanted to put in online courses, they would go to an LMS, right? And so those can be priced pretty crazy. But if you're trying to build a community around it, definitely look at something more like a Circle or a Mighty Networks. If you're just trying to like drip a certain amount, then you can use Memberful or Gumroad to charge, and then go ahead and drip that through a Zapier integration with HubSpot or MailChimp, which have free email marketing software. There are lots of different ways to do it, and I think what I really want to get across is that with all of those options, it really matters what your intent is and what your pricing is going to be. Because without those two, you are kind of grabbing at straws trying to figure out what software you want to go or what route you want to go ahead and complete those transactions through a subscription-based software, and then also deliver the content based on whatever content management system you want to use. Hopefully this is helpful. But you really have to figure out what the purpose is. Because Mighty Networks is a few grand a year. You don't want that if you're just trying to launch courses. You go to another software. And you definitely don't want that if you're just trying to launch like text-based. Like go to Arist, they're super cheap.